Hi everyone, I'm Lorraine from Simply English Edinburgh. Welcome back to my channel, and today I would like to talk to you about one of my all-time favourite resources for preparing students for proficiency or for IELTS when you need those 7.5 scores and higher. It is Recycling Advanced English by Claire West. As you can see, my copy is, well, it's well worn, a bit dog-eared, a little bit torn up. Let's call it well loved, because I absolutely think this is a fantastic resource. I've used it so much throughout my teaching career, and I've recommended it to so many students at proficiency level who have used it, loved it, and most importantly, passed the exam. So I'd like to go into a little bit of detail today about why I love this resource so much. First of all, it is divided into 5 clear sections, starting off with grammar. Now, why I love this grammar section in particular is because I find for many students at this level, they're still struggling with prepositions, perhaps with articles as well, depending on what their first language is. And when you look for these type of exercises as a teacher, you find that they're kind of more aimed at intermediate levels. But the truth is that students preparing for proficiency and high-level IELTS scores are still finding difficulty with these grammar pieces, and therefore I think this resource is fantastic because it covers all the main grammar rules while keeping the vocabulary and the actual exercises challenging enough for the higher levels. So that is one reason why I love it. It also covers passives, all the tenses, modals, conditionals, direct, indirect speech, inversion, so all the main grammar points that you find come up in Use of English Part 4 if you are taking the proficiency exam. So absolutely love that part. The second section of this book focuses on phrasal verbs. I love phrasal verbs. Those of you who have followed me for a while, who have taken lessons with me, who follow me on Instagram, know that I love teaching phrasal verbs, and this is, again, one of my favourite go-to resources for phrasal verbs at high levels. I think it covers absolutely all the bases, and something that I love is that it divides the phrasal verbs by prepositions. So, for instance, you can see here you've got section 1 focusing on phrasal verbs with down, phrasal verbs with after, back, about, etc. And after every set of 5 or so prepositions, they do a recycling section where they'll do some exercises focused on reviewing everything that you've just seen. And once you can get through that, you move on to the next set. So I think that's absolutely brilliant. The third section of this book focuses on vocabulary, and for me, the strength of the vocabulary section is how well this book deals with collocations. I absolutely love it because a lot of the exercises in this book start off with a matching collocation section, and it really goes through some excellent strong collocations for lots of different themes that do come up in the exam. You can see there, for instance, like money and finance, the environment, time and memory, books and reading, law and order, things like that. Now, obviously, I've got, as you can see, an extremely old copy of this book. I've got the 2nd edition. However, if you do update, I think the sections on technology, for instance, will be much more useful for you than mine, which is a little bit outdated. I saw something there about a fax machine. I've never seen a fax machine. So I think when you do get the newer edition, which I will link in the description box below, I think it will be a lot stronger in terms of the more relevant, up-to-date vocabulary sections. Fourth section of this book focuses on word study. Now, while it goes into some detail about false friends, borrowed words, and things like that, which I think is really useful, my absolute favourite part is where they go into detail on, words that have relatively the same meaning but we use in different contexts, which I think is absolutely excellent for those of you who are preparing for proficiency, because this is something that comes up quite a lot in part 1 of the Use of English, where you're choosing the word which has the absolute best meaning according to the information which you were given. So I love that, and I think you can really improve your vocabulary in this area as well. So another great section that I use a lot. Section 5 focuses on writing. Now, something that you need to bear in mind is that this is not a book in order to help you prepare for the actual exam itself, in that it doesn't focus on like how to write a report suitable for proficiency, that particular exam for instance, but what it does cover is some of the main ideas which you should be able to deal with in order to write at an advanced level and higher. So while some of the written section might not be relevant exactly to your exam, because there's some stuff for instance on, you know, writing notes, memos, minutes of meetings and things like that, but actually it is aimed at improving your overall level of writing. So I still think it's worthwhile, but it's not necessarily the section that I use most when working with my students. And last but definitely not least, because for me it is the absolute highlight of this book, is the appendix section. It is a treasure trove of prepositional phrases, dependent prepositions, adjectives that can be used adverbally. You know, you've got just fantastic lists. You can see there the one on prepositional phrases. I've added some of my own ones here as well. Adjectives, nouns with dependent prepositions. You can see here verbs with dependent prepositions. You've got such good resources which you can refer back to all the time, and I love this section. This for me is one of the main reasons why I bought the book, not gonna lie. I think it's brilliant, and yeah, it's just super comprehensive, so I would absolutely recommend that. So overall, I mean, if you flick through the book, which you can see me doing kind of right now, you see there are absolutely no pictures. It's a little bit dry, so definitely I would use it as not your maybe main course book, absolutely not, but something like as a really good reference book to refer back to, as I said, particularly for working on collocations, prepositions, phrasal verbs. I think it's absolutely fantastic. One of the downsides, I would say, of the phrasal verb section is that it gives you a long list of all the different phrasal verbs that can come up, but it doesn't actually go into any detail on definitions. Therefore, you will need to look up all the phrasal verbs yourself, which is a little time consuming. However, I recommend it a lot. As I said, I'm going to leave a link in the description bar below so you can have a look, check it out. But yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. I really recommend it. So guys, if you found this video useful and you would like me to review some more of the material that I have used to successfully prepare students for proficiency, high-level IELTS exams, just leave me a comment and I'd be more than happy to do more videos like this. And as always, please like, subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!